I once read that a butterfly, when it moves into its chrysalis form, is completely undone, that it no longer exists as a caterpillar for a while or a butterfly. It's in some kind of transition state, and that it is entirely reimagined by what some scientists called imaginal cells, I think. What a wonderful story we're all writing together, yes? We name things, we tell stories, and then the stories of nature begin to reoccur in the stories that we tell. The story of death and rebirth and a butterfly, the story of a seed that falls from a tree and dies a sort of death and becomes a tree. It's reimagined. And if I understand correctly, it's reimagined very, very similarly to its parents, but not quite exactly. There's an evolution that's happening there. What a beautiful and terrifying idea evolution has been to us. Yet, if we cannot find ourselves evolving in our own faith, then we really cannot say that we are true to the Christ that we say we love, since he is the one who showed us how to move past our current form, how to be born into a form, and how to be reimagined in our death, or in the death of that form. The universe, as I understand it, is the cross. Our finite nature being the nature of suffering, the nature of dead and alive, ones and zeros, the binary, the offs, the ons, the goods, the evil. That somehow the physical realm is the cross, and we are nailed to it for as long as our finite existence exists. And someday we must face that end, or that graduation, or that transition. Maybe it is in this moment that we are reimagined. Some say it is just the beginning, that this is the dream that we are waking up from. And this is what I understand all the stories to be saying. The stories from the scientists, the stories from the scientists, the stories from the shamans, the stories from the priests, the stories from the indigenous people, the stories from those of us in the cities. We're all trying to be reimagined, yes? We've heard about some kind of reimagination. And we know the death in ourselves to some extent. And it terrifies us. Nobody wants to suffer, and everyone wants to be happy. And the way we have gone about securing our happiness as a people up to this point has been, it's understandable, yet it is not quite just and not quite helpful to all of us. Yes? Can we agree on that? We can find the common ground. We do not have to agree on every point of storytelling, We do not have to agree on every point of our practice. We are free to have varying practices among one another. Yet it seems that there are many of us from many diverse practices who agree that the point is love. Respect, sincere communication, authenticity. There are many of us who have a heart to share. There are many of us who have made great effort to open. There are many of us who have been experimenting and playing around in our practices. And many of us have come to understand the limitations of all practice. Yes? The limitation of all words, the transcendence of all form. And yet we still are here participating. Yes? Yes, you are here practicing and participating as I am. We are practicing. We are participating. I pause to smile at you. Many of us have been cultivating that sense of audience, yes? And that sense of audience may be conceived as that sense of we-ness, the juntos, the nosotros, yes? Many of us are in deep practice trying to understand how to bridge communication gaps. It is a deep practice. Many of us are very interested in merging our faiths and our practices in order to find a deeper love, because this is what we have been instructed to find, yes? We have been set free. I heard of a sheet that was unrolled and all the foods were there. We can taste of all and find the sacred nature. Or we may choose to step away from that which we have tasted. That's an option too. We will have personas while we are here. We will have personas. We will be somewhat invested in our own experience and our own opinions. It's bound to happen. But this is what we've been training for, is it not? To see past those things and to begin a deep communion. Yes, yes, yes. This is what we've been practicing for. Yes. I seen a butterfly, oh Lord, I seen a butterfly.